Hello and welcome. Today we'll be looking at a different set of algebraic expressions and we'll be looking at how we can factor them. Let's get started. In our last lesson we looked at simple expansion of simple algebraic terms. Here we're going to look at something slightly less simple, or we say complicated. Okay, so here we have two terms. Actually we have two terms with coefficients outside each of the brackets. So remember, expansion simply means you want to remove the brackets, but here we are asked to expand and simplify. So simplify means make it as simple as possible, that can no longer be reduced any further. So reduce it to the form that you don't need to reduce it any further. Okay, so let's go ahead and expand. Remember, whatever we have outside the bracket, we distribute it to all the contents of the bracket. So 2 goes to x and 2 goes to 5. Also 3 goes to 2x and 3 goes to negative 3. So the first one, 2 times x plus 2 times 5. Don't forget the middle sign, so that's plus 3 times 2x, 3 times 2x, minus 3 times 3. Okay, so now let's try and solve it. 2 times x is 2x, 2 times 5 is 10, 3 times 2x is 6x, and 3 times 3 is negative 9. Okay, so now let's bring like terms together. So 6x and 2x are like terms, so 2x plus 6x plus 10 minus 9. Okay, so 2x plus 2x, that gives us 8x, so that is 8x. 10 minus 9, that gives us positive 1, so 8x plus 1. So by expanding and simplify 2 into x plus 5 plus 3 into 2x minus 3, what you have is 8x plus 1. Expand and simplify 4 into 2x minus 1 minus 2 into 2x minus 2. Okay, so we distribute. So 4 times 2x minus 4 times 1 minus 2 times 3x minus negative 2 times 2. Okay, so what is 4 times 2x? That is 8x. 4 times 1, that is 4. What is 2 times 3x? That is 6x minus 6x. What is negative 2 times 2? That's negative 4. Negative 4 times negative, that gives us positive 4. Okay, so now we can collect like terms. So this is 8x minus 6x minus 4 plus 4. Okay, minus 4 plus 4 will cancel out and become 0. 8x minus 6x will leave us with 2x. So when you expand and you simplify, 4 into 2x minus 1 minus 2 into 3x minus 2, what you have left is 2x. Expand and simplify. 2y into y minus 7 minus 3y into y plus 5. Okay, so if we want to expand, we go ahead and remove the bracket, but before we do that, we distribute what we have outside the bracket to what is within the bracket. So that's exactly what we're doing here. So this becomes 2 times y minus 2 times 7 times y. I'll jump the step, minus 3 times y plus negative 3 times y times 5. Okay, so now let's go ahead and solve this. So 2 times y, where that is 2y squared, minus 2 times 7 times y, that's 14y, minus 3y squared plus, no, that's going to be negative, because negative 3 times 5, that's negative 15y, times plus, that is negative, so negative 15y. Okay, so we can collect like terms. Y squared and y squared are the same, so we can collect them to, so 2y squared minus 3y squared, then minus 14y minus 15y. Okay, so 2y squared minus 3y squared, that gives us a value of negative y squared, negative y squared. Then minus 14y minus 15y gives us negative 29y. Okay, so we can leave our answer this way, or we can say this is a negative 1 into, because we do y squared plus 29y. So I do have some practice questions for you here. Pause the video and try this question, try your hands on these questions, and when you're done, we'll look at them together and see whether we have the same set of answers. Now let's look at the answers together. So here, the first one is 3 into 2x minus 7 plus 3 into 4x plus 5. Okay, so you remember you want to distribute whatever is outside the bracket to the contents of the bracket. So that's the question step. So the first step is you expand. So 3 times 2x minus 3 times 7 plus 3 times 4x plus 3 times 5. So the second step, here you sum that up. 6x, 3 times 2x becomes 6x, 3 times 7 becomes 21, and 3 times 4x becomes 12x, and 3 times 5 becomes 15. So collect like terms, that's the third step. 6x plus 12x, that gives you 18x. Negative 21 plus 15, that gives you negative 6. So if your answer is 18x minus 6, then that's the right answer. For the second question, it says 2a into 2x minus y minus 6 into x plus 3y. Okay, so the first step is you want to multiply through, just like we usually do. So 2a times 2x minus 2a times y minus 6 times x, then minus 6 times 3y. So that leaves us with 4ax minus 2ay minus 6x minus 18y. So that's the answer. So for the third one, half y into 2x plus 6 minus 3/4 y into 4x minus 8. Okay, so that's translated to y over 2 multiplied by 2x. The 2's cancel out, so what you have is xy. Y over 2 times 6, then that gives you 3y, and then negative 3y over 4 times 4, so the 4's cancel out, so what you have is 3xy. Remember, it's a negative sign. And then negative 3 over 4y times negative 8. 4 goes through 8 2 times, so minus 2 times as negative 3y gives us positive 6y. So when you collect like terms, xy minus 3xy plus 3y plus 6y, so leaves you with you can now invert it. It leaves you with the xy leaves us negative 2xy plus 9y. So we can invert it and write it as 9y minus 2xy. And so the last question says 2 into y minus 5z plus 3 into z minus 2y. Okay, z is the same thing as z. British people call it z, the Americans call it z. Okay, so 2 times y multiplied by 2 times 5z plus 3 times z minus 3 times 2y. Okay, so that's 2y minus 10z plus 3z minus 6y. So you bring the like terms together. 2y minus 6y gives us negative 4y. Negative 10z plus 3z gives us negative 7z. So this is the answer. If you decide to take out the negative 1, you can have negative 1 into 4y plus 7z. So remember, when you're working with expansion, you want to distribute all the values that are outside the bracket to all the contents of the bracket. Remember, you need to simplify sometimes, and what we mean by simplifying simply means to reduce it to the simplest possible term. And lastly, you want to make sure that you check your answer to make sure that the signs are correct. That's it on expansion of algebraic expression part 2. Thank you for watching.